It's a lot of beard.
So I've done a few videos going through how we work as photographers, showing you the cool behind the scenes stuff, the gear, the stylists, how we sort of produce our work. But what I've not done yet is show you what we do when we're not shooting, when we're not in pre-production or post-production, when it's just an ordinary day like today, which is Thursday. So in this video this week, I'm going to sort of go through my working day, explain to you what we get up to, because I know that a lot of people who follow this channel, they actually want to be professional photographers, and I want to give a bit more of a true representation as to what it is we do. So my days, they change a bit at the moment, obviously due to the pandemic. Normally, I'd wake up, get the kids ready for school, I'd then drive into the gym, go to the gym for an hour, have a shower, come to the studio, begin work through my day until about 3:30, 4 p.m, head home to play with the kids, have dinner with them, get them ready for bed, and then after that, I will get my laptop out and start work again. However, our kids are with their dad at the moment, so we've got like a 2-week block where there's no children around. The schools were closed anyway. My gym's closed. So current sort of daily routine is wake up late, have breakfast, come into the studio, try and do an 8-hour day here. I go home, I go for a run, then I get back into the house and I sort of get my laptop out, do a bit of work, have dinner, finish up with a bit of work, watch Silent Witness with the cat and my girlfriend, and then we go to sleep. It's a pretty stacked day. I don't really like sitting around doing nothing apart from Silent Witness, which is my guilty pleasure at the moment, but we're coming to the end of it, even though we've watched it once already. We're sort of rewatching the whole thing again. But anyway, that's nothing to do with photography. So today I have a few things that I need to do. Now I always make sure I have a list so I know what I'm doing, but today's list includes I need to adapt some of my Bowens modifiers to Broncolor, because I'm moving from Bowens to Broncolor, but I'm doing it bit by bit, and I can't really afford to throw £10,000 on modifiers to get all new Broncolor stuff. So got to try and do that first. Then I need to look at my emails. I do my emails once a day. They sort of build up pretty quick at the moment. That and like DMs on Instagram and WhatsApp, text messages, all that sort of stuff. I try and clear it once a day. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I reply to everybody, and this is something I want to touch on as well. But I read them all. Now, I think some days I get around 500 to 600 messages, and if I was to reply to them all, it would take me all day, and that'd be my job, just replying to messages. And I work by myself at the moment, so I've had to come up with a system where I'm aware of everything going on, but then I have to work out what I have time to respond to. Because if I spend too long responding to inquiries about jobs that I'm never going to do, or quotes for work that I don't want to do, and all these different things, and like DMs and people saying, oh, which camera would you buy? You know, there's lots of information out there, and it's much better that I do a video like this, which lots of people can watch, rather than respond to one message. So if you have messaged me and I haven't replied, I've not ignored you, I have read it, you'll probably find your answer in a video very soon. So once I've sorted out the sort of reflectors and stuff and the soft boxes, got my emails done, I've got to do some work on my portfolio. I need to do some testing with some of my kit as well. Because I'm getting new kit in, I like to really know my kit inside out. I do own lots of kit, but I don't use lots of kit. A lot of it is there for the rainy day scenario when a client wants something. When it's my own work, I have a very specific sort of like view on what I think things should look like. And I know how the modifiers that I use work for that. There's only really 2 modifiers I use. I know them inside out, and it's just sort of making sure that I understand exactly how it will behave in different scenarios. So we're going to do a bit of playing with that as well, get some content out on Instagram, probably do some articles for F-stoppers, and then just take you through my day, so hopefully it's of use. Thankfully, I already own quite a lot of stuff, so the first thing we're going to be doing is trying to adapt my favourite modifier, which is looking like some drill work, which I won't be doing myself. I'll be outsourcing that bad boy. And then also some of my favourite soft boxes. Now, this is something I've needed to do for ages, but I haven't really had the time. But now we have the time, so let's crack on. So this is my 3rd attempt at like the adapter situation. So these kind of fit, but kind of don't fit. And it's left this all saggy and loose. So this is also not a fix. So we're quite a bit of money in at this stage. There's gonna be a lot of returns going on. Nothing seems to work. So it is gonna have to be some sort of drilling through metal scenario. So the softbox debacle couldn't have gone more wrong if I tried. I've ended up having to remove them with pliers. So I think I've tried every mainstream way of doing this now, so it's definitely going to end up being some sort of drill it all together. If you know of a better way to do this, do let me know in the comments, because as you can see, I'm struggling. Anyway, it's time to hit the desk and get some boring admin done. So this is my very much unfinished office, but we've got a cat tree now for Moggy, who likes to sleep in her hammock most of the day. And then over here is where I'm going to be based. I was just about to bite the bullet on a new office, new desks, new computers, new NAS server, all that sort of stuff when pandemic hit. So that's on hold for now. This is also part of my to-do list today, is to try and get Moggy to wear a lead. She's an indoor cat. She's a rag doll, so I think if she goes outside, she's a little bit stupid and she'll probably get eaten, so that's not really an option for her. But there we go. Anyway, onto the desk, onto the admin. Let's crack on. So for the next few hours, I'm going to be here at my desk, and it's a common location for me, I guess is the best way to put it. And I like to work in a very set way. So the first thing I do is all the tasks that I need to do that no one can interfere with. So it was looking at the modifier stuff to check it works, which it doesn't. So that's going to now go into a different pile of work to do, which is people I need to contact. So I need to phone these people and say, look, it doesn't work. What can I do next? The next thing I like to do is contact people who I need to contact to get them to do things for me. And then finally, I get the people who are contacting me and I go through those emails, messages, missed calls, that sort of thing. Now, the way that I work it is this. I have a phone with me all day, as most of us do. I don't tend to go on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of those things until I have to. I leave that to one side. I don't open my emails on my phone very often. I have a couple of people, key agencies that I'm working with that come on and off filters. If we've got a job live, they'll be able to get through. But apart from that, I try and make it so that the first part of my day, I'm just doing stuff that I need to get done. And then I move on to looking at my emails. Now, I've recently set up separate email accounts to try and filter stuff a bit better, and you'll see why as we go through the messages. But you have to get to a point where you're happy with the fact that you cannot respond to every email you get. You know, it's just not viable. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start phoning people.
Hello, mate.
Hey man, how you doing?
Very good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We have a re-edit. Oh yeah, I'll go for that. Awesome. Cheers, mate. I'll chat to you in a bit. Hi, Graham.
Oh, Scott. How are you doing? All right.
I'm good, thanks. How are you? And then I think I'm still waiting to hear back from about a shoot for them as well.
Oh, great.
So thank you very much. Cheers for that.
No worries.
Bye, Graham. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good morning.
Hey, Phil. How you doing? Okay, so I've phoned everyone that I need to phone. So now the only calls I'll be having will be sort of incoming calls or reactive calls. And I really like to break my day up like this. We have stuff that I need to do, then we do the reactive stuff later, which is now coming on to emails. Now, I try and clear my emails every day, but I've got 164 unread emails. I try and have most of the notifications turned off because they just bug me otherwise. So we're going to work our way through those first. So it's 164 emails. This is in my photography email account. I've got a separate email account that I use for photographers. So workshops, YouTube, all that sort of stuff, advice, one-to-one mentorship. That goes to a different email account altogether. I had to separate them because it was getting too confusing. So 164 emails, going to blitz through those. I reckon 40 of them will be spam. So there's only really 120 to go through. Out of those, I need to work out which ones need a response, which ones don't need a response, and all that sort of good stuff. So let's crack on. I blitz through my emails. The way that I do it is I have a filter for sort of like common email accounts of spam. I just quickly check through those because some of them actually are like newsletters or chain letters, some things where I actually have a client with the same name, which is annoying. So for example, say I do 500 Amazon orders in a year, I might also have 2 jobs for Amazon, and finding those, anyway, I have to flick through everything. I just want to make it really clear that I don't normally drink bottled water, and I am looking at something to do with these plastic bottles afterwards, but because of the COVID rules in the UK at the moment, I can't use that sink to drink from because it's the hand washing sink. We only have one sink in here, so we've had to supplement with bottled water, haven't we, Moggy? Do you want a bit? Also, as much as I drink coffee all day, I drink about 4 litres of water as well. I'm absolutely obsessed. That's just Moggy. Good afternoon, Scott speaking. I need to now look at doing some light testing with my new light and looking at my portfolio. I'm probably going to go out now and look at the light because I've been at the desk for a while, so I'll have to break it up and I'll come back in here afterwards and look at the portfolio. So let's go and play with lights. Now, in case you weren't fully aware, I'm obsessed with lighting. It's what I spend all my time doing, and I've gone and bought some new lights. And this is very exciting for me, also very important. Come see. So, we'll just spin it around this way. What I've purchased is called a Broncolor Hazy light, and it's this monstrosity here. And I bought it for very specific reasons for the type of work I do. It's a very niche bit of kit. But I need to really get to know it, and that is not something I'm going to do during commercial jobs until I've, worked out exactly where the nice bit of fall off is and all these little bits and pieces that I need to be looking at. So I'm going to be having a quick play with this in some scenarios just to see how it responds, how it reacts. This is a big important part of what we do for work, so let's crack on with that. So what we're doing here is just looking at the catch lights. This isn't actually how to light a shot like this, but I'm sort of looking at what can and can't be achieved, what the fall-off's like, what the sort of direct flash is like, what the feathered light is like, and just sort of seeing how it reacts to various different sort of scenarios. I mean, those pools of light are kind of beautiful. Obviously, it's not ideal for this particular setting, but that's clearly going to have its place, and that's just sort of what we're playing with at the moment. So just seeing how it responds to different intensities of light, different angles, because obviously when it's shooting direct like this, it's very different to if you're sort of getting the spill of light which is falling down here. So it's just sort of seeing how that plays out, I guess. This is one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of having less kit. The less you have, the more you know it. So like the lens I shoot almost all of my food on, I know what every single aperture does to colors, to sharpness, to the rendering and the drawing of the image. Whereas if I had like 50 lenses, it would be impossible to know. Obviously, sometimes you need something more specialist and more niche, but generally speaking, all of my work is shot with a 100mm lens. And then now what I'm doing is I'm trying it on minimum power. So I've sort of shot everything from 6,400 watt seconds of light through to just enough light to get f2.8 out of a lens. And again, it's little things like it does render the light slightly differently at a low power to a high power. It does have a different aesthetic to it. And it's important to know this because you need to know what all the tools in your bag can do, don't you, Moggy? So that's by no means the clean. That's just what we're doing each day. Everything we touch getting anti-backed. Sweep the floor, mop the floor at the end of the day. I do that as a leave, but we do have professional cleaners come in. Don't panic. Don't panic. We're not all going to die from some horrendous infections. However, that's that part done. And now, back to the computer for some more Zoom calls. Awesome, so I've just finished my last Zoom call for the day. The studio is reasonably clean considering we didn't really shoot here today. And then heading home, got to do a few bits and then we're going to continue into the evening. So for now, Moggy and I, we're off. So a bit of a sweaty mess, but I've made it home. Now, home is not a good place right now. We are having building work done, like biblical building work. I've got my mask on as well, hang on. We have got a bathtub here. The sitting room is filled with various deliveries, and the kitchen is also filled with various deliveries because as well as having the house basically gutted and redone, My partner runs a business from home as well, and she's just had a load of like containers delivered. So it's pretty stressful and chaotic here, which is why I don't tend to work from the house. Nevertheless, it is evening. This is what I'd normally do. I get back. I usually have a pint of, what's the word for it? It's like not an elixir, like a isotonic drink to replace all the sweat from my running around from the day. Because I find that I just drink loads of water for some reason, and all of that water kind of makes me dehydrated, or at least lacking in electrolytes. So let me cane a pint of that, which I'm about to do, and then the laptop comes out and we get back to it. So even though I was on like a big screen at the studio, I'm actually running off a laptop 24/7. So I literally bring it home, open it up again, and I pick up exactly where I left off. So now it's portfolio time. I'm going to actually add a few images to my portfolio as well as looking at what I need to add to it, and then it might end up being a separate video going through that, but let's see how we pan out. And I don't feel like I've been totally honest here. I had a nap for half an hour earlier, so that happened. It happens most days when I'm not shooting. I'm a big fan of the nap. Quick power nap at about 3 o'clock. Good times. That's why the hair looks a bit weird now. Okay, so I've just finished writing a couple of articles for F-stoppers. I have put together a couple of video plans and, you know, the sort of like online presence sort of stuff that I do. It's a small percentage of what I do. So today we gave it maybe 30 minutes in total, but that's kind of done and dusted now for this week. So tomorrow we're free to get on with some pre-production work for a different client. So that's kind of it. I've just finished updating my portfolio. We're sort of 7 o'clock, 10 to 7, and I'm calling it a day. And this is sort of the standard boring day, I guess. It's not always big sexy shoots or big pre-production meetings or marketing days. Some days you just have to get stuff done, and that was today. And I think it's good to sort of acknowledge that and, you know, show what we also get up to, which is pretty mundane stuff some days, but it's got to be done. So there we go. I hope this is of use to you.